and then going on a nationwide tour to hype it. Every single major entity, whether it's the Congressional Budget Office or the Penn Wharton model, say that, the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget, this is not going to have any impact on inflation. In fact, it's near zero impact on inflation. And the bad things in the bill begin now, and the bennies, the benefits they give people begin later. Let me give you 3 or 4 couple examples. Audits. It doubles the number of IRS audits. You don't think that every small business person is now saying, oh my God, how do I prepare for that? It has a manufacturing tax that causes, the National Association of Manufacturers says it will cost hundreds of thousands of jobs in manufacturing, and companies are already figuring out how they're going to deal with it. This tax was so bad that when it was adopted in 1986, it was so cumbersome, so counterproductive, that Congress abolished it 3 years later, and now we're going back and doing the same stupid thing again all over again. Green new jobs. No, the bill is written in such a way that if you're a non-union company, you really can't compete for those kind of grants and that kind of business. And now we're going to have employers in that sector telling their employees, you know what, there's a bunch of money out there, subsidies for green energy projects, but because it is designed to benefit union workers rather than non-union workers, we're not going to be able to compete for that business. That kind of stuff is happening now. The benefits, such as they are, we've got price controls on drugs, 10 of them starting in 2026. I mean, how's that going to impact inflation today? It ain't. Yeah,
the fine print. Carl, stand by one moment. Get some breaking news from the White House. We mentioned the first couple is coming back from South Carolina this afternoon, Dana. But now we can confirm that the First Lady has tested positive for COVID.
Understandable, since her husband had COVID, obviously a close contact. It's a highly contagious variant. She is going to remain in South Carolina at a private residence. She will return to Washington after she has 2 consecutive negative tests. So we wish her well, hope that it's mild and that she gets better very soon. Carl, I'm coming back to you here. I think that we can bring you in just to talk about the fact that, you said they want to get on the road to talk about all of this. It's hard when they keep getting COVID. That's obviously no fault of their own. It's a highly contagious virus. But when they're out on the road, you have somebody like Patrick Mahoney, who is the congressman from New York. He's the head of the House Democrats campaign arm. He told the New York Times editorial board, basically, the Democrats are unlikable. He said Democrats could be much more intentional about our work in rural areas, with veterans, with farmers. We could talk like human beings. We could build a relationship with voters. I think that most of the voters that we ask about this think that we're out of touch. They think we're elitist. We think we are better than they are, and they don't like it. We have a likability problem. Now, he has said similar things like this before, but this is the most pointed I have ever seen. Do you think it will make a difference with the caucus?
Well, he's increasingly unpopular in his own caucus for a variety of tactical reasons, decisions he's made as the head of the DCCC. He himself is in a primary. Look, let's step back. The Democrats he's right, they got a problem. They don't look like they are in touch with the concerns of the American people. American people are concerned about when they go to the grocery store, when they go to the gas station, when they go to pick up clothes for the kids from the fall. Prices are much, much higher, and it all goes back to the dramatic spending increase that was unnecessary, that even Democrat economists worried about and cautioned Democrats not to engage in, the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan. And they've only added money on top of that. And look, the president's got 2 problems going out campaigning around the country. One is he doesn't have a particularly good message. And second of all, his numbers are so bad that Democrats are scurrying to get away from him. How many places has he gone already where people have said, I don't want to, I'm a Democrat candidate for office. I don't want to appear with him.
Gonna keep happening.
And then we got the polls showing that 1 out of every 4 Democrats wants him to be their nominee in 2024, and 3 out of 4 don't. Both the New York Times and CNN ran polls that revealed that among Democrats.
It seems like it's an exception for the candidate who wants to appear with him.
We'll see if it changes. I mean, they have had a good week. We'll see if that changes. I mean, I kind of doubt it, but lots of things have changed in the past 2 weeks. Carl, great to see you.
You bet. Thank you.
I'm going to call you later. All right. Terror in northern Mexico, as drug cartels unleash a violent string of arson and gunfire over the weekend, the warning to Americans there. Plus, seniority no longer a factor when deciding layoffs at Minneapolis public schools. Why some are saying the new teacher's contract favors race over merit. Jimmy Fela on that straight ahead.
I read what the union said. They said they want students to have teachers that look like them. Wrong. The students need teachers who will educate them.
I'm Tatiana for New Day USA with some great news for fellow veterans who own a home. With home values at record highs, now's the best time in history to turn your home equity into cash, up to $60,000 or more. The New Day 100 loan lets you borrow 100% of your home's value, 25% more cash than you get at a bank. Give them a call.
Call 1-877-717-4613.
I brought in Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein.
Those who tried me felt more energy in just 2 weeks. Here, I'll take that.
Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar. Enter Powered by Protein Challenge for a chance to win big.
We're a different kind of dentistry. One who believes in doing anything it takes to make dentistry work for your life. So we offer a complete exam and x-rays free to new patients without insurance every day. Plus, patients get 20% off their treatment plan. We're on your corner and in your corner every step of the way. Because your anything is our everything. Aspen Dental, anything to make you smile. Book today at aspendental.com. Walk in or call 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL.
Why hide your skin if Dupixent has your moderate to severe eczema or atopic dermatitis under control?
Hide my skin? Not me.
Because Dupixent targets a root cause of eczema, it helps heal your skin from within, keeping you one step ahead of it.
Hide my skin? Not me.
And for kids ages 6 months and up, that means clearer skin and noticeably less itch. With Dupixent, you can change how their skin looks and feels. And that's the kind of change you notice.
Hide my skin? Not me.
Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. When you help heal your skin from within, you can show more with less eczema. Talk to your child's eczema specialist about Dupixent, a breakthrough eczema treatment.
Ever better. It's when Ryder is ever optimizing your supply chain from port to door with innovative technology and flexible solutions so you have the capacity, scale, and employees to make you more resilient.
Hi, I'm Don McCary, a proud veteran who's been helping Marines and their families for decades. If you were stationed or working at Camp Lejeune from 1953 to 1987, you may have been exposed to contaminated water that causes serious health issues. A new law proposes a multi-billion-dollar settlement separate from your veteran's claim to compensate anyone that's been affected. If you want to see if you qualify, call us now.
Call 855-300-1000. That's 855-300-1000. Call right now.
Tonight, Jeffrey Epstein, what we know, from the biggest question surrounding his case to who's really connected to the disgraced financier. Tucker has answers tonight.
Hi.
The great experiences you had in here and even out here all started here. Because the best customer experience always leaves a great impression. GMC, awarded #1 in sales satisfaction by J.D. Power. Step up to GMC with 0% financing on these GMC models. We are professional grade GMC.
They're retired New York firefighters. They work at a Long Island golf club. They love to fish, and they're identical twins. When Paul and Phil were both diagnosed with prostate cancer, they turned to a national leader in cancer care.
We chose Perlmutter Cancer Center at NYU Langone Health. They're on the leading edge of so many prostate cancer treatments.
Perlmutter treated them with a powerful 1-week radiation protocol. Now they have something else in common. They're cancer survivors.
My first thought was this city will never be the same. And then my next thought was, we're going to help it get back.
It's terrible to realize your office is gone.
But our first priority was being out there with our community.
Assuring our clients Cincinnati Insurance is going to be there.
They were there for us. It's why we chose them and recommend them to our clients.
3 Fox Nation exclusives, triple confidential. Was the sinking an accident or part of a horrific scheme? Take a deep dive into Titanic secrets. Some say they're trying to control the world with help from the devil. Enter the temples. In Freemasons, a society of secrets. The clues are ominous, but what's below the terminals is more shocking. In Denver Airport Conspiracy, hidden in plain sight. The best conspiracies come in 3s. Triple confidential. Start streaming this week on Fox Nation.
So now your tax dollars at work. Fox News alert, yet another bus of migrants out of Texas on its way to New York City today. When they arrive, no one knows, but the mayor plans to house the new arrivals at a Times Square hotel. It's listed as hip and trendy. The New York Post with this biting headline, Border to Broadway, and Nate Foy back on the story today in Midtown Manhattan. Nate, good to see you. Good morning.
Good to see you. Good morning, Bill. Yeah, Texas officials tell me not one, but multiple migrant buses right now are mid-route coming to New York City. And when they get here, you mentioned the New York Post reports they may have luxurious accommodations. Take a look at this video that we just shot this morning. This is a new video of the Row, New York City. It's a hotel that will be used as a shelter. The Post reports the city plans to use it as an intake center for as many as 600 migrant families. Mayor Eric Adams says whether it's housing or education, every migrant will be cared for in New York City.
We are going to provide these families with the dignity that the Texas governor failed to do.
Now, Bill, the city has not said how much that hotel plan would cost. Meanwhile, Texas officials are pushing back on claims that migrants are being forced on buses. We've heard that multiple times from the mayor's office here in New York. But the Texas official in charge of these buses says that's a lie.
Absolutely not true. The migrants that have been released by the federal authorities to the non-governmental agencies here voluntarily get on these buses that are bound for New York and for Washington, D.C.
Now, Fox News also has exclusive video from inside these buses. Chief Kidd says every bus is stocked with 4 days worth of food for 50 people. And migrants have multiple opportunities to get off the bus. Listen to this.
So if the bus is stopped, they are free to get off just like every other person that the federal government turns loose in the nation is. Now, they are not allowed to stop or get off while the bus is moving, but the bus is stopped for fuel, the bus is stopped to change drivers, the bus is stopped to get food in other places. So there's no reason that we have to kidnap these people and keep them on the bus.
Bill, in just over an hour here in New York City, the Archbishop of New York, Cardinal Timothy Dolan, is meeting with migrant families to address the influx of migrants here in New York City. We'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Nate. We'll wait on the next bus, too. Nate Foy, Midtown Manhattan.
Amazing story.
Dana.
Also this, white teachers in Minneapolis public schools may be the first to get pink slips under a clause in a new contract. Take a look at this. If accessing a teacher who is a member of a population underrepresented among licensed teachers in the site, the district shall access the next least senior teacher who is not a member of an underrepresented population. Here to react and to explain what that meant, Jimmy Fallon, host of Fox Across America on Fox News Radio.
Hey.
I mean, this feels eye-opening.
I hate calling things racist because that's all everyone does anymore. But this is racist. If a district put out a memo saying we're firing black teachers first, everyone would be protesting in the streets, and rightfully so. But the bigger frustration here is this does nothing to address the real issue, which is having a merit-based education system where the kids are the priority. This doesn't sound like kids are the priority. At a time where American school students aren't in the top 25 in the world in math and science, the average school kid right now thinks 2 + 2 = Jell-O, okay? How about we get a teacher that can teach addition and subtraction and everything in between? Because it's the antithesis, if we were being fair, what Dr. King said. What? He wants to live in a world where we judge people by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. This is definitely not that. And this is the frustration, is that the woke left, in a lot of ways, they're cultural arsonists. They like to set fires that they themselves can extinguish to claim valor or virtue, but it doesn't help anybody. Remember when San Francisco was going to try to take Abraham Lincoln's name off a high school?
Sure.
Like, come on, it's Abraham Lincoln. And by the way, my son's name is Lincoln. Yeah. Now he has to go by his middle name, OJ. This is a mess. I don't appreciate it.
It's pretty good. I tell you, it's not always about race, Jimmy.
Yeah.
It could be about climate change.
Don't you dare.
Well, Fox obtained some emails that shows that Leo DiCaprio has a nonprofit organization. And apparently he awarded some of the grants that came into him to these dark money groups that went out to funnel money to a firm that filed climate-related lawsuits against companies to take them on. And I imagine that doesn't surprise you.
No, the most amazing part of this is he did all of it while flying on a private jet.
Right, exactly.
That's the most amazing part of all of this.
They have good Wi-Fi there, so we could just sign the check from the
I have been on so many canceled Delta flights. Like, I'm going to become a climate activist just so I can fly private with everybody else. I can't keep hanging out in the terminal anymore, Leo. But again, this is more hypocrisy from that side. And when you see the money moving around the way it does, I got to be honest, again, it always sounds like whataboutism, but when people hit you with the charge of whataboutism, what are they really saying? Yeah, we're guilty, but why are you bringing that up? Because of what you did.
Right.
This looks very shady. It almost looks laundery. I'm not an expert in such areas, but I don't like it.
Yeah, but you did drive a cab one time.
I did drive a cab. It's finally somebody brought that up.
Did you know that? CBS also talked about climate change. This is this weekend. Basically, this is about, we do have a problem with children in America not being as active. This is why CBS thinks it's the case. Watch here.
My talk at the table is a new study showing how climate change, specifically higher temperatures, is making our children more inactive and more obese.
Jimmy.
Stop it. I love how the climate people say this as if it's never been hot out.
But the point was we got to stay inside in the AC.
No, the whole thing is a scam. As you know, we locked kids down, okay, closed school activities, closed sports, kept them in the house. When we were finally coming back out of the house, we were like, hey, if you get a vaccine, we'll give you a Krispy Kreme donut, okay? Do not blame climate change for obesity. They do it all the time. I mean, they'll blame climate change on anything. That's the joke of climate change. They're like, look at all these people playing blackjack in Vegas. Must be climate change.
There's AC in there.
Yeah.
So they got driven inside.
They were never out there before.
I see how it works. I see. Good to see you.
Your son's middle name is Lincoln. Now you got an excuse as to why he lost an Atari. I mean,
it went down.
He's running out. Jimmy, thank you.
You guys are the best.
Justice Department stonewalling the release of the affidavit of Mar-a-Lago, even as the president says he's got nothing to hide. Let's see it. Congressman Mike Turner, his take on that coming up.
Veteran homeowners, New Day wants to help you use your VA home loan benefit to get more cash, more savings, more peace of mind. The New Day 100 VA loan lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, up to $60,000 or more. Veterans are saving an average of $615 every month. With more ways to help more veteran families, no bank, no lender, no one knows veterans like New Day USA.
Call 1-844-946-1661.
Two people worked together for 12 years. Colleagues, friends. Now one is being harassed, threatened, even an armed assassin was after him. The other could stop it, but doesn't. Merrick Garland and Brett Kavanaugh. Merrick Garland is the Attorney General. He should uphold the rule of law, protect his former colleagues and the court. Instead, he's cowering to the woke mob. Merrick Garland. Bad for the court then, bad for the court now.
Psoriasis really messes with you. Try, hope, fail.
No one should suffer like that.
I started Cosentix. 5 years clear.
Real people with psoriasis look and feel better with Cosentix. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentix. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections, some serious, and the lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to. Tell your doctor if your Crohn's disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
Best move I ever made.
Ask your dermatologist about Cosentix.
Your child deserves to be inspired, challenged, supported, empowered, to learn in a way that stays with them for life. And they deserve to do it at home. At Becca Homeschool, where learning lives.
You had me at Allison 10-speed transmission. Features available on GMC Sierra Heavy Duty. premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC.
Attention! Did you or a loved one live at or near the Marine base Camp Lejeune in North Carolina between 1950 and 1985? If so, listen closely for this important legal announcement. For decades, Marines and their family members at Camp Lejeune drank water that was contaminated with hazardous toxins. The toxins found in the water at Camp Lejeune may cause cancer and other diseases, especially later in life. Types of cancer and diseases associated with water at Camp Lejeune are numerous. If you or a loved one lived at Camp Lejeune between 1950 and 1985, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation without going to court, even if you were turned down in the past. New legislation may allow you to file a claim today. If you spent time at Camp Lejeune, call the Negligence Network to find out if you're eligible for financial compensation. There's no fee unless we win your case. Call 1-800-500-9443. That's 1-800-500-9443. 1-800-500-9443.
Men, you need to get off the couch and get with the program. With Golo, I've lost 50 pounds. It feels really good to be able to button your jacket and not worry about it blowing up.
Go to Golo.com to lose weight and get healthier.
With Choice Hotels, there's always a reason to book it.
Hey, bud. How about we go on a little trip?
Can I come?
Save up to 20% when you book over 7,100 locations at choicehotels.com.
Better luck next time.
But I haven't even thrown yet.
You threw good money away when you bought those glasses. Next time, go to America's Best, where 2 pairs and a free exam start at just $79.95.
Can't beat that.
Can't beat this either. Book an exam today at americasbest.com.
At Lovesac, we design furniture for life, real life, messy life. Now, Lovesac Sactionals can be upgraded with Stealth Tech and immersive surround sound by Harman Kardon, upgradable, washable, and guaranteed for life at a Lovesac showroom near you.
New projects means new project managers. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/hire and get started today.
San Francisco promising more action and a series of unprovoked attacks targeting Asians. Here's the latest, and it was a brutal beatdown of an elderly woman last week. She was 70 years old. It was on camera. Lieutenant Tracy McRae, president of the San Francisco Police Officers Association. Really good eyes and ears on the ground, Lieutenant, for us, what's happening in that city, a formerly great American city. Sometimes there are these events, Lieutenant, that sort of attract the attention of others and say, no more. Is this one of them?
Oh, without a doubt, this is one of them. I mean, we've been seeing this happen too often. It shouldn't be happening. How are we going to make San Francisco great again? I mean, crime, we have to crack down on it. And we have to have politicians who are going to be truthful in what they say and how this is going about, instead of trying to defund us, taking money away that we obviously need as a police department to staff and to catch people who are doing these types of crimes.
Your shortage of cops, call for 2. You're short 352 sworn officers. All right? You're short 133 civilian employees. You're 500 people short of the total you need in San Francisco. I bet you'd argue for even more than that. Which side of the defund argument is the mayor on today?
So now the mayor is on the side of, we need more money to give cops. We would have had money if you hadn't took $120 million away from us. But, that's water on the bridge now. We need to figure out what we're going to do today, because I heard 18 people took our interest test, and that is not going to do anything when we just had over 50 people retire or leave or go somewhere else. So, I'm not a numbers person. I don't have a degree in accounting, but even not, I know that's bad.
Yeah, you're right about that. Total crime, you're up 13% from 2020. Homicide, you're up 36% from 2019. Assault, you're up 9% from 2020. Larceny, theft, up 24%. How's it working out with the new DA?
So we're hopeful. The There's a prosecutor who's in that office. We haven't had that for a long time. But, you know, she's up against some crime, some stiff crime that's happening. It's not you snap your fingers and a miracle will happen overnight to fix it. We just made some arrests in that crime you talked about when you led off the story. Someone who's 11 years old, knowing what they're doing, but, you know, they're not going to get charged. It's going to go to the community court. And believe me, that 11-year-old, unfortunately, and I hate to say it, he will be back out committing the same type of crime because he's getting a pass.
Wow, 11 years old. How many more are you still looking for, Lieutenant?
Looking for one more, and I got to thank the hardworking men and women of the San Francisco Police Department, the members we represent, for going out there and identifying. Unfortunately, this tells you how young they are, that our officers are identifying them in several crimes, not just this one.
Right.
So you have kids out there committing crime. You know, this is why people hate politicians, you know, because they say one thing coming out the side of their you know what, and then they do something that's the opposite, all because they want to stay in power because elections are coming up. So now, yeah, we're going to be tough. You know, we can't have this. No, you shouldn't have it from the beginning, right? Yeah. And then you asked us to come in and clean it up, right? But you're vilifying us before. So I feel like I'm in a battered relationship with a bunch of these politicians in our city. Make up your mind. Either you want us to do our job and you're giving us the tools to do it, or you know what, shut up and go back in your office and close the door because you're not helping.
I like the frank talk. Lieutenant, thank you. We hope you go 4 for 4 on those beating up that woman who's 70 years old. Good luck. Thank you, Lieutenant.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Admire
We'll talk
her
again.
so much. Former President Trump is demanding the immediate release of the government affidavit supporting the FBI search of his home at Mar-a-Lago. But the Justice Department wants a judge to keep it secret, saying it could hurt their investigation. So welcome to a brand new hour of America's Newsroom. I'm Dana Perino. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Dana. I guess every town needs Lieutenant McCrae, don't you think?
I think she's amazing.
Right?
I want to shake her hand.
Trump is not the only one who wants to see that affidavit. Several news organizations filing requests to unseal it. But the DOJ is fighting the effort, saying the papers contain highly sensitive information about witnesses and confidential grand jury proceedings. Senator Lindsey Graham telling us last hour it is high time for full disclosure.
When it comes to Trump, there are no rules. Every Republican should be suspicious of what's happened in the past happening again. So we need the affidavit. Show your cards. Merrick Garland can't have it both ways. He can't give us the inventory, the warrant, without telling us why it was necessary. Without the affidavit, we're flying blind in the dark, and the American people are going through too much pain, too much heartache on this endless effort to destroy Donald Trump.
Ohio Congressman Mike Turner ahead with reaction. But first, Mark Meredith has more in Washington. So, Mark, there's no guarantee that President Trump will get his way. What can we expect in the next couple of days?
Dana, you're right. There is no guarantee that the former president will get his way. In fact, it's going to be up for a judge to decide whether or not the affidavit related to last week's search at Mar-a-Lago should be released or not. We do know that there's going to be a hearing scheduled this Thursday at 1 p.m. in West Palm Beach. That just broke a few minutes ago, so it should give us an idea of where things stand, whether or not any documents related to the affidavit or the previous warrant material will be released. Overnight, the former president weighed in, he says it should be made public. Late last week, both the Justice Department, Trump, and a federal judge approved of plans to unseal the original search warrant. Those documents outlined what investigators were looking for. The government says from its search it recovered 11 sets of documents labeled either classified or top secret. The warrant also revealed that Trump is under investigation for possible obstruction of justice and violations of the Espionage Act, but it did not tell the whole story, including how the government found out about these documents in the first place. Trump has been accusing the Justice Department of abuse of power and a political smear campaign. Now he says online, quote, "In the interest of transparency, I call for the immediate release of the completely unredacted affidavit pertaining to this horrible and shocking break-in. Also, the judge on this case should recuse." Late Monday, the government filed a motion to keep the affidavit sealed. The Justice Department argues if released, it could cause significant damage to the ongoing investigation. In some of that court paperwork, the government writes, quote, "If disclosed, the affidavit would serve as a roadmap to the government's ongoing investigation, providing specific details about its direction and likely course in a manner that is highly likely to compromise future investigative steps." So it's clear there's going to be a lot of information in that affidavit. The Justice Department says it does not oppose some additional material tied to the search search warrant being revealed, but we don't know when that may happen. Also want to mention that it was the former president that mentioned that his passports have been taken from Mar-a-Lago. The Justice Department says they have now been returned, and that we're told 2 of those 3 passports were expired when they were removed from Mar-a-Lago. Dana, never a dull moment. Like you said, it's a story that just keeps on giving.
Yes, okay. Well, thank you, Mark. The Senate Intelligence Committee is requesting a private briefing on the matter from the Justice Department. Ohio Congressman Mike Turner is the ranking Republican on the committee. So you have oversight over the Justice Department. That's the way our system works. Do you think that you'll be able to see this, even if it's in a classified setting, Republicans and Democrats, members of that committee, to be able to see that for your own eyes?
Well, we absolutely should. I mean, one thing that we know, Dana, is first off that the Department of Justice and the FBI had options. They didn't have to do the most intrusive, invasive execution to get these documents that are alleged to be highly classified by actually going into Mar-a-Lago and spending 9 hours. They could have gone to court and asked for their subpoena to be enforced and these documents to be turned over to a court. We know from the warrant that they're making allegations that that the president had classified documents, and from the inventory, notice did not include anything about passports. They allege that they have taken classified documents from his residence. What we want to know is, what did they tell the court to get that warrant? And the only way we'll know that is through that affidavit. Did they claim that these documents represented a high national security threat, which really should be the bar to be going into a former president's home? And then secondly, show us the goods. What did they get? When they claim they have classified documents as a national security threat, was there? So show us the affidavit. Let us know what you told the court you'd find, and show us what you found. Let's see those boxes.
Last hour, Jonathan Turley was saying you can redact portions of that affidavit and still release to the public and not reveal some sort of investigation that's underway. Maybe the judge makes that decision on Thursday, because we just got the word that he'll hold the hearing at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Wall Street Journal, Bill McGurn wonders this. Merrick Garland goes solo in Mar-a-Lago search. Should Biden know about the Trump raid? If not, that's truly disturbing. He makes the point that you're going to break down the walls of 200 years of precedent without talking it over with others. What do you think happened in this?
Well, if you notice, the Attorney General has never said that he did not inform the White House. Only the White House has been claiming that they had no knowledge. It'll be very interesting to see what Attorney General Garland says when he actually gets to the point where he will answer questions. We know this. This raid was undertaken against President Biden's political rival. We also know that Donald Trump himself personally derailed Attorney General Garland's path to the Supreme Court. And we also know that the FBI has in the past submitted bogus information to get a warrant that was directed at Donald Trump, where they used the bogus Russia dossier that even the New York Times says is not factual, that they submitted to a court as their basis to get a warrant against Donald Trump. There's a pattern here, and also when you look at the unequal application of the law with Hillary Clinton and a very similar issue, almost identical, it certainly shows that the Attorney General at the Department of Justice have got to give an explanation and justify this to the American public. I
was wondering this. I mean, obviously, you have Democratic counterparts on your committee and ones that you see, but especially on the committee. Do you get a sense that any of those Democrats, we don't need names, are concerned about the unprecedented nature of this, that they have some trepidation about it as well?
Well, I think everyone should. I mean, and certainly you have had on a bipartisan basis calls for this information to be released and calls for the documents to be reviewed by the Intelligence Committee to determine whether or not there were really highly classified documents here. So, I mean, in order for them to have gone into his house, remember, they spent 9 hours there. They would have had to have said to the court, there is a high national security risk from the documents that are there. Mm-hmm. They're going to have to prove that. They're going to have to show to us that it actually rose to that level, and that the other options available to them, even just asking, the court or the former president in the process of cooperation, tell them what they know, ask them to comply. None of that was followed before they went into his home.
Mike Turner, thank you. The Republican from
Good to have you.
Ohio.
Thank you.
We'll bring you back soon. He made a pretty good catch there, too, don't you think?
Yeah.
Merrick Garland hasn't been asked the question, so he hasn't been forced to answer it yet, but the White House has.
And also at DOJ, I worked there for about a year before I went to the White House. I was just one of the spokespeople, but the most valuable, I think, thing that I learned is 101 ways to say no comment. Mm-hmm. There's an art to it.
Right. That way you don't lie. So the power of President Trump's political endorsements in full view today as voters in Alaska head to the polls. Watching this race, the former president has called on Republicans to oust the moderate Senator Lisa Murkowski and replace her with a more conservative candidate. Chief correspondent Jonathan Hunt's watching all the action in Anchorage, Alaska, where they got some funky rules for this election. Jonathan, good morning.
They do indeed, Bill. Good morning to you. Voting gets underway in person here in just under an hour, and moderate Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski has been campaigning hard, trying to ignore the fact that Donald Trump, the former president, has called her lousy and the worst senator in the United States. Senator Murkowski says she's focused on what's good for Alaska. Listen here.
You tell me any candidate that will be on this primary ticket on Tuesday that can deliver the results for Alaska like Lisa Murkowski.
So you're confident you will remain Senator Lisa Murkowski?
I am. I believe the people of Alaska will return me to the United States Senate.
Her strongest opponent on the Republican side is Kelly Tshibaka, endorsed by President Trump, enthusiastically clinging on to the former president's coattails and trying to tie Senator Murkowski to President Joe Biden. Listen here.
She consistently votes along with the D.C. insiders, whatever makes her popular with the friends she's had for 21 years on Capitol Hill. Her friend Joe Biden, she votes with him 70% of the time or more. But that's not in the best interest of Alaskans, and we know it.
There is a special election for a vacant House seat here, too. Former Governor Sarah Palin is running for that seat. Her chief Republican opponent is Nick Begich. Begich, from a family that has been steeped in Alaska politics for decades. He has criticized Palin for not showing up effectively on the campaign trail and for just trying to run on the former president's endorsement. Nick Begich told us yesterday, Bill, that this is not the Celebrity Apprentice. It's the U.S. Congress.
We'll see how it turns out. Thank you, Jonathan Hunt. Nice to see you there in Anchorage.
Today, new numbers from Customs and Border Patrol are nothing short of alarming. Mexican drug cartels bringing violence and deadly drugs to our southern border. Can Border Patrol stem the tide? We have that story for you next.
Also, President Biden eager to get his agenda back on track, inking a huge climate and tax bill today. We'll have that for you.
And far-left District Attorney George Gascon getting a new lease on life as the effort to recall him fails.
George Gascon can say today, echoing Mark Twain, that rumors of my demise have been wildly exaggerated.
Veteran homeowners need a financial boost? The new Day 100 VA loan lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value and take out up to $60,000 or more. Give them a call.
1-855-764-0610.
Veteran homeowners, home values are going through the roof, and so is home equity. Unlock your equity and turn it into an average of $60,000 cash with a new Day 100 loan. Make home improvements, pay big bills, put it in the bank for security today or retirement tomorrow. Rates are still low but starting to rise, so call now. You get more at New Day USA.
1-855-764-0610.
Elon Musk says Tesla's full self-driving software is amazing. It will blow your mind. But does it work? This happens over and over again. 100,000 Tesla drivers are already using full self-driving on public roads. I'm Dan O'Dowd. I'm a safety engineer. And Tesla full self-driving is the worst commercial software I've ever seen. Tell Congress to shut it down.
Paid for by the Dawn Project.
Psoriasis really messes with you. Try, hope, fail.
No one should suffer like that.
I started Cosentix. 5 years clear.
Real people with psoriasis look and feel better with Cosentix. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentix. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections, some serious, and the lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to. Tell your doctor if your Crohn's disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
Best move I ever made.
Ask your dermatologist about Cosentix.
Hi, I'm Don Macari, a
proud veteran who's been helping Marines and their families for decades. If you were stationed or working at Camp Lejeune from 1953 to 1987, you may have been exposed to contaminated water that causes serious health issues. A new law proposes a multi-billion-dollar settlement separate from your veteran's claim to compensate anyone that's been affected. If you want to see if you qualify, call us now.
Call 855-300-1000. That's 855-300-1000. Call right now.
My name is Diane. I grow lots of pretty flowers. At a point in my life not too long ago, I was thinking I could never garden again. But then I found Balance of Nature, and it's just been a no-brainer ever since. I feel great. I have plenty of energy. I sleep well at night. With the Balance of Nature, I can work just as hard and as long as I really want to. It's just been a godsend.
Start today by going to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Fox News.
588-2300 Empire today.
Empire.
588-2300 Empire. 800-588-2300 Empire.
Today. The day you get your Clear Choice dental implants makes every day a let's dig in day, a chow down day, a take a big bite day, a perfectly delicious day, a love my new teeth day. Because your Clear Choice day is the day everything is back on the menu. A Clear Choice day changes every day. Schedule a free consultation.
Tonight, Jeffrey Epstein, what we know. From the biggest questions surrounding his case to who's really connected to the disgraced financier. Tucker has answers tonight.
A lot goes into a small business. Optimum Business with 24/7 support goes into it all. So get fast, reliable internet with speeds up to 1 gig and built-in cybersecurity for just $34.95 a month. As your business grows, Optimum Business gives you the flexibility to pick services that grow with you. Now, get up to a $600 gift card when you upgrade your speed. And new customers get a no-risk 60-day money-back guarantee with no contracts. Get all the support you need for all that goes into your small business. Only at Optimum Business.
It's the Stoller Lexus Race to 300. We've got the inventory. We've got the Golden Opportunity Sales Event incentives. And Stoller Lexus has the pricing you've been waiting for as we go all out to cross the 300 sales finish line. Choose from our most popular Lexus models and from more than 500 pre-owned luxury vehicles. It's here, it's hot, and it's a sales event you can't afford to miss. The Stoller Lexus Race to 300 in Farmingdale.
First National Bank LI is celebrating 95 years of truly local, customer-first service. Come in for special anniversary loan rates worth celebrating with Long Island's truly local bank. Visit fnbli.com.
After my car accident, insurance offered me $50,000, but my attorneys now at the Barnes firm got me $1.3 million.
What's your case really worth? Call now and find out.
Call 1-800-8-million.
3 Fox Nation exclusives, triple confidential. Was the sinking an accident or part of a horrific scheme? Take a deep dive into Titanic's secrets. Some say they're trying to control the world with help from the devil. Enter the temples. In Freemasons, a society of secrets. The clues are ominous, but what's below the terminals is more shocking. In Denver Airport Conspiracy, hidden in plain sight. The best conspiracies come in 3s. Triple confidential. Start streaming this week on Fox Nation.
Shocking new numbers from the southern border. Agents report nearly 200,000 migrant encounters in the month of July. Fentanyl seizures are up 203% in just the last month, and 10 people apprehended were in the FBI's terrorist screening database. Bill Malugin is live in Eagle Pass, Texas with the latest, and especially even on those fentanyl numbers and the number of people, those are just the ones that they know of. We don't know about the gotaways or the drugs that got in here. Bill.
Dana, good morning to you. That's exactly right. There have been more than 500,000 gotaways since October, and that's not reflected in these numbers. Let's get right into those numbers and we'll show our viewers. Take a look. In the month of July, CBP reporting just under 200,000 illegal crossings here at our southern border, 2/3 of which were single adults, 67%. That's what we've been seeing on the ground as well. Only 74,573 Title 42 expulsions. That means most of the people who crossed were released into the United States. And so far in fiscal year 2022, there have now been over 1.9 million illegal crossings, and we still have 2 months left to go in the fiscal year, so we are certainly going to hit 2 million. Then if we can pull up this graphic, we'll talk about known and suspected terrorists arrested here at our southern border. In the month of July, CBP reporting 10 hits on the FBI's terrorist screening database. We are now up to 66 of these arrests at the southern border in fiscal year 2022. And look at this, from fiscal year 2017 through 2021, we only had 26 arrests. We are now more than double the last 5 years combined so far in fiscal year 2022. And again, that is concerning when you have more than 500,000 gotaways just since October. Then take a look at this wild pursuit video from Texas DPS in Laredo. They're chasing a human smuggler. He pulls off, and then you're going to see a mass bailout of illegal immigrants out of that vehicle. It's almost endless. Texas DPS saying 20 people were in that vehicle. They all go bailing out and they run into the brush. Then the pursuit picks up again. It eventually ends in a residential neighborhood where that smuggler foot bails. And take a look at the photo. Texas DPS did end up catching that human smuggler. These kind of pursuits happen every single day out here at the southern border. And then lastly, take a look at this photo. This is concerning. Border Patrol in the Tucson, Arizona sector reporting their Border Patrol agents found an abandoned bag of weapons just off the side of a road, including an AR-15 and an NAK-9, which is an AK pistol, as well as 300 rounds of ammunition. They don't know where it came from. Back out here live, the other startling thing, you mentioned it off the top, Dana, from June to July, CBP reports their fentanyl seizures shot up 203%. They report 60% of all the fentanyl they're getting in the country is in the San Diego area, and coincidentally, San Diego's fentanyl-related deaths are up 2,300% since 2016.
It's hard to fathom. Extremely frustrating. Thank you.
Just another day, unfortunately. Meanwhile, drug cartel violence rocking the city of Tijuana just across the border from California. The widespread shootings and arson forcing Mexico to deploy hundreds of National Guard troops there. Robert Almonte, former U.S. Marshal for the Western District of Texas. Sir, thank you for your time. How big of an issue is this now?
It's a huge issue. It's a tremendous issue. Things are completely out of control in Mexico. The bottom line is that the cartels are calling the shots in Mexico. They're in control, and that's the bottom line. We have millions of migrants coming over here to the United States, and then you have all the fentanyl coming into the United States. The recent violence in Tijuana, Guanajuato, and Jalisco, and in Juarez, that's all cartel related, and the gangs that are working for the cartel. This is a show of force, a show of intimidation that the cartels are in charge. This is no different than what happened back in 2019 in Culiacan, Sinaloa, when they arrested one of the sons of El Chapo. And the Mexican government basically was forced to release him. So that sent a message to the cartel that they're in control, they call the shots, and it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, it sure is.
And the other thing...
Yeah, Chief, let me just show our viewers that two of the main cartels there. One is the Sinaloa, primary drug trafficker of drugs in the United States. The DEA says it's a major driver of fentanyl, operates in 50 countries, once run by El Chapo, you just mentioned there. The other cartel operates everywhere, the Americas, Asia, and Europe. They traffic huge amounts of cocaine and methamphetamines, known for extreme and intimidating violence. We had the head of the DEA on our program about a month ago. Her message was pretty direct and pretty straightforward. Here's Ann Milgram on that.
That these two Mexican drug cartels, Sinaloa and CJNG, are poisoning Americans at record rates. We lost 107,622 Americans last year. These two cartels are primarily responsible for the fentanyl and the methamphetamine that is flooding into the United States and is killing people. These are not plant-based drugs anymore. It is a different and deadlier drug threat than we have ever seen in our country.
So here is the top line. in 2022, on screen now, look at the third line on this graphic here. From 2021 to 2022, we've got nearly 73,000 deaths because of fentanyl. What can we do, Chief? And what can the Mexican government do, if anything?
Well, there's a lot. The bottom line is we're not really doing anything. The United States government, our agents working the southwest border, Border Patrol, Customs, DEA, they need more resources. They need more personnel. They need more technology. And quite frankly, they're not getting the support that they need from our government. They're not getting the appreciation that they need from our government. The other thing, too, is our government needs to put pressure on the Mexican government for them to do something to go after the cartel. I mean, the fentanyl is just flowing over here into our country. It's poison. It's killing a lot of people. And quite frankly, the Mexican cartels are the #1 threat to our national security, without a doubt. And I just don't understand why we're not doing anything, really. We're not doing anything. We're not doing enough. It's just all dog and pony show on our part, and a lot of lives are being lost. And I feel so bad for the good people of Mexico, and I feel badly for the people here in the United States that have one less person at the dinner table during holidays because they lost them to an overdose due to fentanyl.
You're not alone. Robert Almonte, thank you for sharing your message today. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dana.
Fox News has learned money from actor Leonardo DiCaprio's nonprofit is actually helping fund climate-related lawsuits against oil companies. We will explain. And 1 year ago today, we were all watching this together. The horrific scene unfold at Kabul's International Airport, one day after the Taliban took over the country's capital. Former U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, will be here.
I am President of the United States of America, and the buck stops with me. But I do not regret my decision to end America's war fighting in Afghanistan.
Hi, I'm William Devane. Did you know there's only been 2 times in American history, 2, when the national debt was larger than gross domestic product? World War II and right now. That's a deep hole, and I don't know how we'll climb out of it. That's why I buy gold from Roslyn Capital. Roslyn Capital is a trusted leader in helping people acquire precious metals. Gold bullion, Lady Liberty gold and silver proofs, and premium coins can help you preserve your wealth. Call Roslyn Capital to receive your free Roslyn Guide to Gold, Gold and Precious Metals IRA, and Silver Brochure. With Roslyn, there are no gimmicks, no hassles, and they have fast, reliable shipping. Ask yourself, are you safe? Make gold your new standard.
Call Roslyn Capital today at 800-630-8900. 800-630-8900. That's 800-630-8900.
Dad, which one's your favorite?
I'm gonna go with Josh.
Yes! I'm sorry, what? I was talking about the types of chicken.
Come on, you know I love